Hi, this is Kate from Izzalicious Designs. Today I thought I would show you how to make an updated version of my Santa. So here we go. This is him. We're going to need red, white, black, some skin tone. I'm using the 7x4mm mini pony beads for his eyes. And we will get started. We're going to do his hat first. We're going to have our loom in the offset configuration, so columns 1 and 3 are going to be slightly lower than column 2. The open part of the peg is facing towards us, or the arrow if you have an arrow on your loom. We're double banding, which means you take 2 bands and you place them on the pegs together as if they were one. Now we're going to start by going from the top middle down to the second peg on each side. Like this. At this point we're going to take a single, stretch it out, loop it on itself and place that over these 3 pegs at the top to draw the hat in. Then we're going to take a single and we're going to just place it here. We're not looping it on itself. Another single just here. Now we're going to put an end cap on each of these 3. Single band, wrap it once and twice and pop on. Oops. That's a thick band. There we go. Pop that on here. One on these 2 as well. We're going to loop up. Oopsie. Make sure you get those 2 bottom bands. Push the crossover bands back with the back of your hook to get them out the way. All the way up. All the way up. All the way up. Now we need some white bands. Take about 4 and place them on your hook. You're going to twist them once, like that. Take 2 and slide those twisted bands on and reclaim the end. This is now going to sit at the top here. We're going to take another 2 white bands. Slide your hook in and out through the side, grab those 2 white bands, pull them back to the back side of the peg, and we're going to tie off. I can see one's decided to escape. Move the forward 2 bands to the back of that bobble, and now we tie off at the back. And let's take this off our loom. If you just want to make a Christmas hat, there you go. Okay, so with this little bobble bit, we're going to just wrap it around like that, and that is the bobble for his hat. Alright, there we go. Now let's go a bit further. We're going to do the back of his head. Well, he's got white hair, so I'm going to make sure my loom is pushed down. Double banding with white bands. We're still in the offset configuration. And we do the back of his head first. Do 2 from the centre to the right, 2 from the centre to the left. Oops. There we go. Push the bands down. 2 for the neck. I'm going to take a single and stretch it across these 3 bands as a crossover. I'm going to do the same above here, like that. Then I'm going to take a skin tone and wrap it around my hook once and twice and place here as an end cap. I'm going to go under that end cap and grab those 2 bands and loop up and loop up and loop up, and we're looping this twice, and we will loop each side once more, and that is all. Push that down. Alright, now we're going to do some skin tone, 2 skin tone. We're starting from the second peg down, not the first. Now before I put my side ones on, I'm going to do crossover band. I'm going to do it from here to here, and then I'm going to use white bands for the sides of his jaw. So I'm going to go from one side here and the other side, and as I said, they are white because he has a beard. I'm also going to do white for his neck, like that. Eyes, and take a single band and twist it once, twice and 3 times. Place that there. Now I'm using beads for my eyes. You can use bands. 1 band wrapped around a hook 4 times equates to 1 bead. So let's slide these on, stretch them across. Oops. That was silly. There we go. And spread the eyes out, and then lift this top part up and above that part of the peg. That now acts as a crossover band. We're going to take our hat and poke our hook through the 3 loops of the end cap and place the first one on the right, the second one in the center, and the third one on the left, like that. Okay, right then, let's put the flesh tone away, skin tone. We're using red bands, double banding. Oh, before we go further, let's move the skin tone band here up, over and onto the neck. That's a very important part, otherwise the back of his head doesn't stick to the front of the head. Double banding. If you can see it's twisted, run your hook around on the inside and it just unravels. Now, before I go much further, I want to do his stomach extension. So let me just go down to here so that we're all in line. And let's do a quick stomach extension here. We need to be able to have 3 bands, so 1, 2 and 3. Double banding still, and we're going to start here. We're going to be coming down 3 bands like that on each of these. Now there is a fiddle factor involved in this, so I warn you, I give you fair warning. We're going to put an end cap on the end of these. There's 1, 2, 3. We're going to stretch a single crossover band over here. We're going to put our belt here, a single black band, and pop that on. Single black band, pop that on. Single black band, pop that on. Now, what we're going to do, we want to dig down here past the end cap and pull this up and pull up, pull up. Go down past your end cap, your crossover band. Dig your hook out as if you were doing tying off. Take a single band, pull it back up, and you're going to tie a very loose slip knot, just like that. And do it on the other side as well. So crossover band. You don't want to include these two bands here, so just your crossover band, pull it out the way, turn your hook around, poke it out of these two, take a single, draw it back up, and we do a loose slip knot. We're going to loop up, and loop up, and now we're going to draw these down. So put your hook under the bottom set of red bands and pull the black band around and forward and twist around. The middle one is always the trickiest. And now here. Now we have a couple of things that we need to do here. Firstly, we need to put our crossover band on. So you're going to lift up the top 2 loops and put a single band on and replace. And you're going to do that on all of these. Top 2 loops and replace. Take the top 2 off, put this band on and replace. But now we need to do, oh, and my little slip knot was not tight enough. Let me redo that. There we go. Loop these up. Now we need to do our other little slip knot here. So dig down, pull the red band through, and just do a little slip knot there. And on the other side here, make sure you're through the crossover band, pull your red band through, and a little slip knot. So you have these 4 little slip knots on the outside of it. We're going to collect this up on our hook, and it is going to stay on our holding hook until we're ready to use it. Make sure you have these little slip knots on the side. They are important. Okay, so that is going to sit to one side until we're ready for it. Let's lay the rest of our bands. And we're going to put a pair of white here. And a pair of white. from one side to the next side. We're going to make arms. We're going to use a pair of black, wrap once and twice, and slide onto a pair of black and reclaim, and slide onto a pair of white, and now we have 3 pair of red. So 1, 2 and 3, and pop that here. We're going to do the other arm, a pair of black, wrap once and twice, slide onto a pair of black, a pair of white, and 3 pair of red. And that will go the other side, just there. We're going to place the bands for his belt. So a single band, wrap once and twice, a single band, wrap once and twice, and a single band, wrap once and twice. Here we're going to need crossover bands. A single band, stretch it across and stretch it across. Now we will need one here. I'm going to put it there, but I know that I'm going to need to lift it up. Okay, so I'm fine with that. We're going to need to do his boots. 2 black bands, wrap once and twice, slide onto 2 black bands. Don't reclaim just yet. Take another 2 black bands, wrap once and twice, and now reclaim those bands. And you're going to slide those on to 2 black bands. And we're going to slide onto another 2 black bands because he is wearing boots. Oops. Angle the foot, and it goes at the bottom of the leg on the end of that white band. Let's do the same on the other side. 1 and 2, slide onto 2, don't reclaim. 1 and 2, now reclaim, slide on to 2, and then we add another 2. Angle the foot and pop it on the end of the leg. Right, we need an end cap here. Single band, wrap once and twice, and that will go here. We need to do a bit of a beard extension, so take a single black band, wrap it around your hook once and twice. Take 2 and slide on. 2 and slide on, 2 and slide on, 2 and slide on. Take this off the hook, put your hook through the end cap and then back through like that. 2 bands and slide through. Now this is going to go on our beard here. So with our little beard extension, we're going to lift up one side and we're going to slide one side of our beard through and pop the bands back, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Lift this up and put, oopsie, let's get that. Slide these bands, these 2 white bands through, and again put back. So that's going to sit here and we can lift this up when we need to loop and everything like that. We're also going to put some whiskers on him, so taking 4 bands for each side, wrap 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Lift that band up again, those 2 bands, and we're going to slide these whiskers down. Like that, and replace the bands. Let's do the same on the other side. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And do the same here. Lift up and slide these all down. And replace. Whoops. Let's get them organised. There we go. And replace those. So we have whiskers, we have beard, arms, crossover bands, and legs. So we're going to start at the feet, dig down and grab the white bands and loop up. Now, before we loop further, we're going to add his little puffy legs. Okay, so we're going to take a couple of red bands. Push your hook down where the white bands are as if we were tying off. Bring them back up like that, so that they're sitting like this. You're going to take 2 more red bands, place them on your hook, and draw them through and reclaim. Now, if we were to just carry on and loop them up here, there would be nothing joining them together. So what we're going to do, take the 2 back ones off your hook, hold them. The 2 top bands on this second, so you've got the first pair of red, the second pair of red. Take the 2 top red, push your hook through like this, and reclaim the other red that you were holding. So you've sort of got this one trapped between the 2. Take a pair of red bands and you're going to draw that through all of those reds and reclaim, and you're going to put those, it's a bit tricky, put those up here at this point, and we're going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so we're going to put 2 bands through where the white is, poke your hook through, grab 2 bands, and draw them up, another 2, pull them through. At this point you need to take the 2 back ones off your hook and hold them. And remember, this is our first pair, this is our second pair. We're going to put our hook and grab those 2 top bands on our hook and then replace those ones. Grab another 2 red bands and draw them through. And I've lost one there, so I'm going to do that again. If you drop it, you sort of have to start again. Unfortunately, I wonder if I can get a better hook with a deeper hook to it. Let's try this one. So we have a deeper hook on this. Hopefully I won't drop it. Draw the red one through where the white is. Draw another pair of red through. Keep hold of that back side of it. Grab the 2 top red bands and then replace your ones that you were holding onto your hook. 2 more red bands and we're drawing those through, says she. There we go, and replace, and this has to be looped up to here. There is some fiddling involved with that. I know you can do it. You'll be fine. Alright, now we're going to continue looping. So we need to, I like to have the groin bit looped in first and then the trousers. So let's dig down and grab these 2 top red, and loop to the side, then the next red and loop to the side, alright, and then the other pant, trousers, like that. Now before we go any further, we can loop up this middle one. So 1 and 2 and 3. We're going to dig down under here, grab the black band, twist it around to the back side of the peg and pull it forward. Okay, so we are good up to this point, and we can even loop up to here. 1, 2, 3. Draw them through. 1, I'm sorry, it's difficult for you to see with a hook in the way. 1 will go here. The other one, stretch it across. It's going to go the opposite side here. Okay. Now, what we need to do is undo the little slip knot on one side. Okay. You got those 2 loops. You want both of them. So the 2 loops of your slip knot are here. Those 2 loops are going to go on this peg here. Are we still in focus? Let's move up. Now, if you want to lock those into place, which is probably a very good idea, you need to find these 2 bottom bands. So dig all the way down to the bottom to find the bottom 2 bands and loop up and link those in like that. Okay, so now we're going to undo the slip knot here, and again get your hook and pop them here, dig down, find the bottom 2 bands, loop up and lock those in. This time we need to put these slip knots on here, but first we need to flip the belt down. So let's lift up the crossover band, and we can let that go. We're going to dig down and find the 2 bottom bands and loop them up. We're going to grab the black bands and flip forward. We need to now lift those 2 loops up and find the crossover band again. Well, here it is. Okay, so we need to put the crossover band back and put those loops back. Now we also need to put these on. Okay, now I had them underneath before we put this loop back, so what I'm going to do, I'm undoing my slip knot, I'm going to put it on my hook. Okay, I'm going to lift those 2 loops that we just placed back up, and I'm going to put those bands, that little slip knot, and then I'm going to put the bands on top. That just gives it continuity. Again, I'm going to loop it up to lock it in, even though I need to lift this up again. I just want it to be safe. Let's do the same this side. We're going to let go of the crossover band. We're going to loop this up, do our belt. Now I have a little bit more belt to find. There we go. I need to lift this up, the 2 top loops, grab the crossover band and pull that back. I'm going to pop that back just for the time being because I need to sit here and undo this little, oh, and I let it go, that was silly. Okay, so it went between these 2 bands here. If you have a look, you can see here, so it just goes in between here. Let's make sure I'm getting that right. In between those 2 and those 2. So pop it on your hook, drag your hook back, and let go of it again. Now, before I just pop it on there, remember we're going to lift these 2 up again. I'm going to make it look pretty. Put those 2 slip knot bands there, replace, and loop up. I know it's a bit fiddly. Now here we're going to take 2 bands and we're going to slide all of these loops on like that, and these loops unfortunately are going to go under these as well, so hold these 2. Again, you're going to lift those 2 off and put these 2 on and replace. Same thing happens. Lift these 2 off, these 2 go on, and then replace. The reason we have to do that is as we loop these up, it locks all of those into place. We're going to dig down to the beard, well, to the neck. Now, at this stage we need to loop the white bands up, but we need to lift the beard out of the way. So flip the beard up, dig down and find the white bands, and loop up. Flip the beard back down. So we have a bit of fancy footwork to do for the beard area. What we're going to do, pull the beard forward a bit. We're going to take the 2 top white bands, hold them in your hand. I'm going to turn my loom around, and we need to thread our hook down the center of these white bands that we have looped over the band. So push your hook down like that, grab those 2 white bands, and we're going to move these over like so, and then pop those 2 bands back there to link them in. We're going to do the same on the other side. So this time we're going for the right. You want the 2 top white bands, if we can find them. Where would they be hiding? I can see. There we go. Hold them with your hands. Again, we're going to burrow down past all of those looped bands. Grab those 2 on your hook and move these over like so. And I can see I was just about to lose those 2, but I caught them. So be careful we don't lose those. Put everything back in its place. Now we're going to find the 2 skin tone that live with here. There's one. Let's find the other one. These 2 can be looped up. Now we need to find the 2 skin tone for here. You want to make sure you push past that crossover band and loop up. Push that crossover band back with the back of your hook. Loop up, finding the bottom 2 white bands. Bottom 2, loop up this center one. Oops. Push down so that you have room to put the center one in. Side and the side. Now we're going to take 2 white bands. Slide your hook down here, out the side, grab the 2 bands on your hook, pull up to the back side of the peg. I'm going to lift my little hat up, and I want to come through where that bottom red band is. Okay, and I'm going to put these white bands on my hook like that, and I'm going to draw them back to the back side of my loom. Collect these up on my hook like that. Take the 2, it doesn't matter which way, but 2 over the other 2, and tighten in a slip knot, and we're ready to take him off the loom. Gently does it. Now we still have quite a bit of work to do with him. We need to do the white ruffle around his hat. We need to do the white ruffle for his jacket. And his moustache. Ease him off. Sort out his legs. Don't worry too much about this bottom bit. If you fancy putting stuffing in it, you can. I think it's overkill. I don't think you actually need it. Straighten out his tummy a bit. We're going to stretch his face out some. Okay, pull his arms up and down, up and down. So his belt does go round to the back of him. As you can see, we're going to hide the tie-off band at the back of his head as well. So grab that and hide that in between his hair and his face. Like so. Okay, so let's start with a moustache. I'm going to take a single band, wrap it once, twice and 3 times and slide onto a single and a single. And do the same thing again. 1, 2, 3. A single and a single. Hey, come back here. Now with these 2 loops, I'm going to take another single white and join them together. I'm going to do a slip knot and tight. Okay, and his moustache is going to go through the center of his face. Where this band is here, I'm going to poke my hook through the back of his head, out through this point here, grab that single band that we tied off with, and pull tight to his face, like that. Now, if you choose to just leave it like that, that's fine. If you want to attach his moustache to his beard, that's another option. And to do that, and it's completely up to you if you want to do that or not, it doesn't really matter. Go through the end cap on his moustache, take a single band, pull it through, oops, and make a slip knot, and the same on the other side. Through, make a slip knot, make it tight. What you're going to do, keep this one taut. What you're going to do with this, with the band that you just made, you're going to go through the center of his beard here and out the side, and you're going to grab one of the bands and pull it through, and then you're going to do the same on the other side. You're going to go through the center, hey, come here, and out the side, grab that tie-off band and pull it tight. Then you have these 2 bands at the back of his beard. So what you're going to do is where the other tie-off is for his head, push your hook through, grab those 2 bands and pull them so all 3 of them are at the back of his head. Okay, now here with your hook through the 2 smaller ones, I'm going to take the bigger one, push my hook through it. I want to tie a slip knot, so I'm going to just tie a little slip knot here, and then I will hide this at the back of his head. So I've done my slip knot, poke it through the back of his head like that, and this you can just tidy up. There you go, and we'll tidy these up too while we're at it, seeing if they popped out again. There we are. So that's the back of his head, so that's his beard and his moustache. Now, he doesn't look very Santa-like without having some sort of jacket, does he? What we're going to do, take a single band and tie it together like that. I'll do this another time. This is for his waist. This is going to go around like that. Okay, we're going to take single band, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. We need lots of these. 1 and 2. You're going to fill that whole set of 3 bands that are linked together up. Now I tend to put a little clip on one end so that I know that it's not going to go walkabout. But then you're going to slide these over. And slide them down. Oops, lost one. Lost another. It fell off my clip. There we go. 1 and 2. 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 I'm holding the clip as well now. Slide these all down. Slide these on. Okay, that looks about right. Now you're going to get a single band and twist it on itself. Okay, we're going to put that single band that's twisted on itself halfway through. So I'm going to approximate where I think that should be. Maybe about there, like that. Okay, so that's where that's going to go. Now, what we're going to do is keep this together. We can actually tie these together on with the other end of the loop. Clip. Okay, so clip those together. Using this band that we only twisted twice, whereas the others are all 3 times, and making sure that it's about in the middle. You're going to stab Santa through the back. Now I'm going just before the groin area. There's one spot before, and I'm going to come out just here. Okay, grab those 2 and pull them back. Now you need to hang on to these. Okay, so put your hook through. You are going to release one side from your hook. Okay, draw it back to the other side, get it through, and draw it through that little loop. Okay, and actually let's try that another way. Put it on your hook. There we go. We're going to do it this way so that you're actually holding on to the little loop here, not the other way around. Okay, so again with this side we need to be having, we're going to let go. How can I show you? Put your hook, the little clip, onto the bit that went through. Swap sides with your hook so that you're on the side with all the loops on it, and pull this forward. And again you're going to put this over. So you are holding, the bit that you're holding is the bit that we threaded from the front to the back. Okay, then take a single band, and we need to in some way, shape or form tie these all together. So I'm going to go through the bottom one, the one on top of it, so I've got both sides together, and the middle one. I've got all 3 of them on my hook, and I need to pull a band through. Did I catch them all? I did. Yippee. It's tricky, I'll warn you it's tricky, and tie a slip knot. So we've tied all 3 of those little loops together, and I say 3 because you've got 1 loop this side, 1 loop this side, and the loop that came through the center of him. Now with this white band, you kind of want to hide it, so go as close as you can to where we have the belt and then hide it up the center of him, and because the center of him is hollow, you should be able to just tuck that little white belt in and hide it at the back there. So that's the ruffle for his little jacket. Okay, so to finish him off we need to do the same sort of ruffle around his hat here. So we're going to take a band and put it on your hook, and another band on the end of the hook here. Put one in the center and tie a little slip knot, and that will go around his head like this. Okay, so now what we need to do is wrap as many bands as we can. 1, 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, Now I don't want these to go and unravel, so I'm just going to attach it to my hook like this, and I'll use another hook, but you can attach it, you can put it on a pencil, whatever you like really, to hold it, to stop it from falling off. That was a bit stretched. Okay, so we have a little bit more room. Let's keep going. So when you feel that there's enough, we're going to go about halfway. I'm going to split these 50-50. Alright. I'm going to put my hook here. I'm going to take a single band, figure 8, like that. I know where my halfway spot is, roughly. I'm going to pop my band over like that till I'm halfway, reclaim it. So I'm about halfway there. I feel that I've got the same amount either side, really. Keep that on my hook. I'm going to stab Santa through the head. I know that sounds really brutal. I'm going to start about here and come through quite low. Alright, I want to come through about here. And the band that we just doubled instead of tripled, I'm going to, and that is halfway, I'm going to pull through the back of his head, if I possibly can without attaching all the other bands to it. There we go, like that. This is important, okay? So I'm going to put a little clip on it, because I do not want that going back through the front of his head. So I'm just going to put a little clip there. Now I'm going to take one side off one hook, bring it round to this side, and I'm going to put it over like that. The clip is still there. I'm going to do the same on this side. So I have it on my hook, and again I'm going to make sure that I go over the clip like that. So I have the clip on one and I have the other two linked through it. What I'm going to do is put my hook through all of them. So I'm going to make sure I've got the first one there, the second one is on my hook, and the first one. So I have all three of those bands now on my hook. I've still got the clip there as well, just for safety. I'm going to take a single band and I'm going to draw it through all of those, and I'm going to tie a slip knot in it, and they are now secure, and I can take that little clip off. Okay, we're going to spread these around a little bit so that he looks like he's got a fur lined hat all the way around. That one's a bit scrumbalicious. It's just a little twisted band. So here we have his fur lined hat. The band at the back, you're going to go through to the back of his hair from his face and pull it through. We can pull that one through as well, which decided to escape. All escape artists are hidden behind the head. Pull them through and then tuck them at the back here. There we go, like that. And you can make it a little bit lower, sort his moustache out a little bit if you want to. Whoops, hit your camera. There's his beard, his arms, his little tummy. There we have Santa. I know he's a bit fiddly with all the details, but I hope you enjoy making him. His little fat tummy. Take care. Bye bye.